Hey darlings! So today we are going to be working on some crafts projects. I have been wanting to get this May endothermic tank working for a while. So pretty much you won't really see a lot of me in this. You'll see a lot of my hands and my craft. But I will have my headphones on. However, I won't be able to simultaneously read the chat at the same time. So kind of consider this a chill live stream where you get to watch quietly, or you can talk, but I probably won't be able to actually read your comments because I'm only using my phone since I'm down here in my garage. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. All right, so today we are going to be working on my delightful little creature. I love her, my little snowball. So the tape pretty much is to mark exactly where I plan on putting things. I don't necessarily need it on anymore. However, we're going to leave it on there just for now. I also have a lot of crap. My Sharpie, my disposable X-Acto blades, which are amazing. If you ever need to cut something and you don't know exactly how much you're going to be going through, I definitely suggest these things. They're like $2 each, and essentially you can get like a giant pack of them. I bought them individually, which probably annoyed the shit out of the sales associate, but they don't like opening up though, so sometimes you have to find ways. They are cheap, and I know that for cutting Eva foam or EVA foam or whatever you want to call it, people have suggested using much sturdier blades. Unfortunately, I do not have a sturdier blade right now. And this isn't so much for like a competition or anything. This is going to be more for, always cut away from your fingers. It's going to be more for a prop. So I'm not really worried about it being able to hold up because it's going to be a stiff stationary prop. There we go. Nice and clean. And if you ever wonder, I have probably about 7 of these just kind of kicking around and, doing what they do. Can everyone see okay? Y'all doing all right? I wonder if this does have a chat option. I don't see a chat option. So, either way, good enough. All right, so these are the 2 pieces that go across the front, which we will sandwich some wire between. We have this piece, which I believe goes right here. Now, I originally actually did all of this by hand. However, I wasn't happy with how it turned out. So I ended up going on Etsy, and there is a creator called Stella Chu who actually had this entire pattern for EVA foam. I ended up getting that and downscaling it to about 75% because I already had this and this. I just needed the pattern for the EVA foam. And while this is easy, the other parts are not. So we're going to go ahead and go off of her foam pattern just because I know that it will essentially sync up and fit correctly, whereas mine needed to be, kind of looked over a little bit. We will, however, make sure that this lines up correctly. We actually have extra space, so that being taken into consideration, we probably will cut off some of that. Now these are going to be layered on top of it, so I'm not going to take off the extra space on that. And this is part of the bottom, and this is another part of the top. And then we have these little pieces, which I haven't cut out separately, but those will actually be for the handle, which should be on the back here. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I apologize if I sniffle a little through this. I am in a garage, but I am kind of bundled up. My arms aren't bundled up, you'll notice that. I'm also going to pull my hair back because otherwise it'll get in the middle of all of our cutting. There we go. I also have these, which, although they are covered in a little bit of dust, are essentially going to be the bottom 3 pieces, which will go underneath to demonstrate the underside of it. And then we have a tube, just popped out, a tube, which is a insulation tube for piping. That's fine. For piping, which will be, there we go, which will be used as the tube for the thing, or the connection guide. We also have the gun, which I've already made. It ended up getting broken, easily gluable, so I will be fixing that. There's a couple chips here and there because it's been banged up a little bit from being toted around. However, overall, I 3D printed this with my Creality printer, and it's actually pretty sturdy. It's a good, solid, chunky thing. So that will be our other half of the prop. Now with this isn't going to be like a competition piece or anything. For the most part, it's just as a sitting prop. I just want something that more or less looks adequate. So for the most part, we're not going to worry about if it can bend or move around. Now with Eva Foam, it's really amazing because you can do some amazing stuff with it. You can do some amazing stuff with it. However, we will not need most of that, necessity, should I say, most of those attributes. Oh, there's nothing quite like a nice, good, clean cut. It's like, oh, it's so clean and nice. So this is the Eva Foam that I have. I've had it for quite a while, actually, because I am incredibly afraid of fucking it up. And you will notice that it is a little on the stiff side, which will probably make it a little challenging. So I better get the heat gun, because we will probably be using the heat gun to flatten this out. Now I will most likely do that on the ground here, so you won't actually be able to see it, but I will leave Snowball right there to keep you company while you wait. Your blaze. Essentially what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be smoothing out the EVA foam so that I can trace shapes on it and get a good clean cut. So let's unpack. And I apologize in advance, there will be some bit of a noise as I'm using my Drill Master, kind of beaten up an old heat gun. If I was smart, I would have actually just ended up laying this out ahead of time and letting it air out and kind of work on its own. But since, I'll be honest, time's kind of a factor here. So, not really something I can do that easy right now. So 1 second. We don't talk about this is my word. We're getting ready, and there was a cloud in the sky. Come on, lay down. There we go. It's looking better. It's not great, but it's better. That's all we can ask for, right? All right. All right, Snowball. Just gonna need you to move a little bit. Just a smidge. All right. So we aren't gonna need all of it. But for the most part, this is significantly better. I also have a clamp, which I can use if I decide I need to hold the damn thing in place. Which I might do. But there we go. Perfect. Okay. So first things first, we want to trace. Then, after we trace, we want to cut. Now, essentially, you want to use the most out of your Eva foam as possible. I got this for, I want to say like 20 something, and it's a pretty good piece. It's nice and thick, which is why I wanted it. And you can get them off Amazon and things like that. They dent and heat kind of fluffs them back up and everything. They're known for being really flexible and sturdy. So ultimately, like, it's not a bad thing to have. It's an excellent product for movable pieces when it comes to cosplay. Since this is not a movable piece necessarily, as it will be simply, sitting around and looking pretty, more or less, I think. But this is not straight. Oh, then again, I don't think it's supposed to be straight because it curves. That's right. No one ever said I was great at geometry. Okay. So you just put it down. Make sure you get the outline. Now, in the event that we were actually putting these all together, you'd want to make marks that show exactly where lines sync up. And that kind of helps when you are trying to mold it together. You want to make sure that the sides that you want to sync up, and the sides that you want to meet. You will notice I'm not the most precise with my lines, but that's okay, because this because this is, I guess I can call this a working draft, because it is not the most, it's not the most precise if you can't tell by looking at him. He's had some moments. And we are going to paint over this, so ultimately we don't have to worry too much. However, I did forget to clip out that little part. Now, I don't remember if this little part is cut out or not. I don't want to cut it out because I'm afraid on the off chance that something happens and that thing fucks up, I don't want it to end up screwing up. So, but a lot of the time, we'll basically do like little marks that show, yep, this is where they meet up. And then in the event that you actually had like multiple marks, you take them off so that you can join them as you go through. Now, it's always important to try to stagger these as much as possible so you can get the most out of everything you use. I'm gonna probably do that just so I can make sure I have enough. And we are going to be painting over this, so ultimately it won't really matter if we're putting pen marks on it or anything. I mean, ultimately, it's going to be all covered after we prime it. For the record, we prime it with Plastidip and then paint it with acrylic. There are other ways of priming. You can actually prime with Mod Podge. You can prime with Elmer's glue if it's going to be hard and not going to be flexible. So I'm tempted to kind of do that just because Elmer's glue is very cheap, very effective, and very easy. However, in the event that I do decide to like have to squish it in something, or it ends up getting smushed, I really don't want those dents that come with the Elmer's glue because it will crease significantly. So for the most part, you kind of have to decide. Plastidip definitely works best with pieces that need to move and bend and need to flex without creasing or denting or having any really bad telltale signs of wear and tear. So ultimately, if you're doing like foam armor, you want to make sure that you do the Plastidip method of priming, because this stuff is very porous, and if you don't prime it, then you will end up with something that essentially sucks up all of your paint. And no one wants that. Because why in the world would you want something that sucks up your paint? So we'll probably do those. We will do this right here though, because, yeah. We'll do this right here because it'll make good use of it. This is a very basic pattern because it doesn't have a lot of conjoining pieces. It has more overlapping pieces. When you end up getting into conjoining things, like I'd suggest checking out Kamui Cosplay's YouTube. She has an excellent amount of cosplay tutorials when it comes to different things that you can do with different things you can do with Eva Foam. She actually has done a lot of tests on her own, like what the best primer is, the best paints, things like that, and put them up to a lot of things. She did some of the tips that I actually am using to prime and everything. So I would definitely suggest her if you have questions about Eva Foam. And we have 2 more, I believe, and that'll be it. So we're going to put these back to back so that I don't have to do too much more. And the great thing is that ultimately we're going to have a lot of spare spot, like just spare, that'll go away with heat, a lot of spare stuff to work with for future projects. So keep that sleeve that you have and make sure that you essentially can reuse it for future projects because Eva Foam is super useful and you can use it for just about anything. Foam, props, decor. Wouldn't suggest using it for anything you're going to like drink out of, but definitely super useful when it comes to anything that you're going to want to show off, especially if you want it to be lightweight. This stuff is very lightweight, it's very resilient, it can squish and bend and move without too much effort. Depending on what you prime it with, it will crease, but it doesn't always crease really badly. Yep, okay, good, I am on right. But I would definitely suggest it because it's a very good piece of material in the event that you plan to, we're just going to meet these up because I don't really see this being too difficult. I can trim it as I need to. It's a very versatile type of stuff. So I honestly, I'd very much suggest it. And this is the first time I've actually officially worked with it. I have been working with foam in the past, but it's never been this density. It's always been like super thin craft foam, like the kind that you can get for a couple bucks in like Walmart or the craft store or Michael's. However, I have noticed that cosplay stuff has actually become more and more widely accepted as far as mainstream goes. I actually saw a bunch of cosplay specialty stuff, including I think Worbla, available in Hobby Lobby of all things, which I thought was amazing because that's phenomenal. It means that I don't have to go online to get this stuff. So 1 second, we're going to take this down. We're going to cut it across really quick, and then I will be right back. Come on. Don't fight me. There we go. There we go. Okay. Oh, it's so nice. There we go. All right. So I kept a little bit of excess just to make sure I didn't overcut it. And we're left with all of this, which is a ridiculous amount. I could probably make at least 3 more of what I just did. So this will go off to the side. I'll probably wrap that back up and put it back in. But for now, I'm actually going to try to heat press this down a little bit so it's a little bit more flat. And then I will be right back so we can try to cut it. All right, we are back again. Hope you guys are enjoying this, by the way. I know that you can't really see my face and I'm wearing like super grungy clothes. But this is something I really enjoy doing, and I wanted to do more stuff like this just because you guys see me a lot behind a computer, but I don't really spend as much time behind a computer as I used to, unless I'm working, but I don't know. I kind of thought that I needed to get this done badly, and I figured you guys might actually want to see it, so I hope I'm right. All right. And so we're just going to start cutting these out. Ew, pulled a resin. Cutting these out one by one. And for those that don't know, I actually have these things that you see are printers. The camera is set up on top of a Creality CR10S Pro filament printer. This is a Creality Halot resin printer, and that is an Anycubic wash and cure station. So I actually do have a good deal of things that I probably spent more money on than I should have. Let me just have the lock. Yeah, there we go. All right, and then just one bit at a time. You just want to very carefully and methodically cut through it. Kind of just cuts like butter, honestly. It will be a little rough if you're not using the highest quality blade or the sharpest blade. I've heard it suggested that you sharpen your blades just using a piece of ceramic or a whetstone, something like that, but just making sure you go slow, smooth movements, just something that essentially, what the hell is underneath this? Oh, it's you. Just something nice. And make sure that whatever you're cutting on, you don't mind getting cut, because obviously this is not going to do really well with the table below it. But this is my craft table, and this thing is covered in tape and glue and resin and all the fun little things that have slowly but surely ended up kind of, well, that is one thing that I don't like about this. So unless you're using the sharpest blade possible, it will tear. But that is nothing that we can't fix with a good old-fashioned Dremel. Honestly, I kind of like doing the short sides first. Just makes me feel like I've started something. And for good measure. You may have noticed I left, kind of undercut that side. Oh, no big deal. This is going to be this part, so it doesn't really matter. I can just put this on the bottom and no one will really be looking at it that closely. But again, this is why it's important to methodically cut along the lines. You'll notice that I do have some space over here and over here. I'm going to be using that for some of our smaller pieces. do it. Give or take. I'm gonna cut you too. This is a little bit more challenging. It doesn't like to take out a second side, but we'll make it work. Essentially what we're doing is we're going to be curving this over if it works correctly. If not, then, you know, we'll bullshit it. As a reminder, I am not a professional cosplayer. I am a hobby cosplayer, which means I don't do this for a job because I'm not good enough. I'm just kidding. Correctly. Missing another piece. Where are you? Piece. No. No. There's you. And then there's the little piece. Where are you, little piece? Oh, I know you're somewhere. Hiding from me, perhaps? One problem with having a very messy workspace is things tend to get away from you. Oh, there it is. It was hiding. This one, with these, I'm going to trace out. These little pieces go there. If I'm not mistaken. Wait, no, these are to the bottom. this as a template for now because I don't want to deal with that. Okay. Now we have a scrap. But I could use that for something. I'll hold on to that too. This stuff goes in the trash. All right. Now we get to do the fun and disgustingly messy thing of finding and using the Dremel. Dremel, where are you? Unfortunately, I do not keep everything in the cleanest condition. Nope, that's a ratchet set. That doesn't help me. That's a lamp. There's the Dremel. I found you. Friendly reminder to always wear a respirator. They are very important. They protect your breathing, your lungs, everything else that is important. That does not look entirely even, does it? Let's mess with that. Let's see. If I was Dremel pieces, those are not Dremel pieces. They're a box of junk. Ah, my Dremel pieces. I actually printed this with 3D printer. Fun fact. Doesn't look like that's off. Where are you, Dremel key? I might have to use it no matter what if I can't find the other piece. Oh. Dremel key, Dremel key. No. Let's take a look. Like if I can get the screw out, maybe. Looks like the screw is bent in it. There we go. Yeah, that screw is definitely bent. Like, I think it's seen its last day. Take this one. Essentially, we are looking for that'll work. Yeah, since I have no idea where the chuck for this is, we will just have to try and make it work, right, guys? About as good as I can. Great thing is this isn't, like I said, a competition piece or anything, so it's not like I really have to be, spot on. I still like to be as spot on as possible. All right, time to mask up. My glasses. Look a little further. Okay. Oh, very good. This is probably the one that needs the most. Good. Ah, I can breathe. Okay, back you go. Back on the mannequin. There you go. All right, that's good for now, because we still need to seal these. I'm going to have to do some more trimming on that. I know I am, because he is just not going to line up well, and I just feel like it is not going to want to cooperate with us. So let's do a little bit more trimming on that. I hope everyone's doing okay still. This is essentially going to be like, it's going to be such a pain. Cutting those little bits and pieces is always a pain. We'll deal with you later, because that's going to be for the bottom, and I can BS my way through the bottom. What I do need to work on is the top. Essentially, see, I can't glue it to this yet because I still need to seal it. I can seal it after it's all in place. But I can glue it into place. I wonder if I should seal it first, and then probably should. I probably should seal it first. Now the question is, do I seal it with all the pieces together? Yes. Yes, I do. I know I had some adhesive somewhere, didn't I? I had some strong, heavy-duty adhesive so that I could glue together all of those pieces. And for the life of me, I can't remember where the hell I put it. Is that you up there? No, your body's lit. Is that you? There you are. I'm okay. Ah, contact cement. So, we will essentially need, we will need a lot of stuff for that. So, I think we're probably done for the night, because I'm going to have to do a lot of prep work. Since this is a highly toxic and flammable material, I'm going to have to open the door and do a bunch of stuff like that. So I think I'm going to go ahead and call it here. I don't look that great. Don't worry about it. But I'm going to go ahead and call it here. Hopefully I'll be able to show you guys in a couple days exactly what this looks like. But yeah, this stuff, highly toxic. I'm going to have to get my respirator back on, but I'm also going to have to find a dabbing instrument, open up my garage door, and get a fan going and everything. So it's going to be really loud, really noisy. So we're going to go ahead and call it for today. But I hope you all had a wonderful evening, and I hope you enjoyed joining me for this. And I will see you on the next episode. Bye, darlings.